I just recorded this week's video without hitting the record button. So, here we go again. This has been one heck of a week for me. Thursday I had lunch with 5 women that I went to high school with that I haven't seen. Well, most of them I haven't seen since we graduated, and that was in 1968, so it was 50 years ago. And one of them I have seen since, but only once or twice. It was fabulous. I had the best time. Well, one of the women called me before we got together and said, "Do you still quilt?" And I said, "Yes." And she said, "Well, I used to quilt, but I can't anymore. And I've got some fabric that I want to give somebody." And I said, "Bring it on." So she brought me all this fabric, and it's a stack of it. And I'm just going to move my machine around to show you the stack of fabric. Almost every bit of that is in yardage. Some of it's 4 or 5 yards, some of it's 2 or 3 yards, but it's all yardage except for one of them. And she had made a friend of hers asked her to make a quilt top or make a quilt for her daughter's new baby, and she wanted animals. So she made an animal quilt top. Well, the mother called her after she had made this and says, "Don't make that quilt yet. She's changed the theme for the bedroom, for the baby's room, and it's going to be Noah's Ark theme." And she said, "Well, all these animals can go on Noah's Ark. They had to go on Noah's Ark." And she said, "No, no, no. She wants the Noah's Ark theme for the." She said, "Okay." So she didn't make a quilt because she could not find Noah's Ark fabric at that time. This was several years ago, and it wasn't real popular then. So here's the leftover fabric from the quilt, and enough of the animal print to make the backing, and then some. Anyway, so I was truly blessed with all that fabric. And when I got there and we were loading the stuff in the car, from her car to mine, she said, we were talking about what we were doing, and I saw that quilt top, and I said, my niece wants me to make her my great niece wants me to make her a baby quilt for her baby. And I had planned to make, they wanted outdoorsy looking quilt, because everything's outdoor theme. And I said, I had planned to make a Bug's Life quilt and a Bug's Life quilt using my embroidery machine to make the blocks and then putting it together. I said, but she may get this animal, jungle animal quilt instead. And she's not. I'm going to make her the Bug's Life quilt, because I found out another great niece is also expecting a little boy, and I'm going to make her the jungle quilt, put it together. She hasn't asked for one. Anyway, so there you have that. But while we were talking, she said, "Oh, you embroider?" And I said, "Yeah, I've got a little embroidery machine that I work with." And she said, "Would you like another machine?" What am I going to do? Say no? I said, "Sure." And she said, "Well, next time we get together, we've decided to make this a monthly get together." And she said, "Next time we get together, I'll bring it with me." And I said, "Okay." Next morning, she called me and said, "I'm volunteering over at Cancer Services, and I brought the machine with me if you want to come by and pick it up this afternoon." Okay. So my cousin and I go out there to get it, and it is a Bernina sewing slash embroidery machine, and it's gorgeous. It's in great shape. It's got all the accessories. It's got all of the cases to carry it in, and she had bought one of the rolling carts to use as well. And it's got so many accessories that did not come with it that she's bought extra. And I'm just overwhelmed. I mean, she told me she paid about $4,000 for it when she bought it. And then it's got all these extras with it. So after crying and thanking her and whatever, I got it home and I told my husband, I said, I know exactly where I want to put it, but I don't have room for it right now. I've got a desk in my sewing room that had my old computer on it, and I've gone to laptop instead of the desk model. But that desk has been my catch-all desk. Just all kinds of stuff just gets stuck over there. I said, but I need to clean it off before I do anything, and it's got this hutch on it that's going to get in the way. So I need to figure out a way to take the hutch off. And he said, okay. So he went in there and looked at it and says, well, it's going to be difficult because it's going to have to be sawed off. You can't just unscrew something. I said, okay, well, we'll get around to that. Meanwhile, my hair looks like crap, doesn't it? Excuse me. Meanwhile, on Saturday, I had lunch with some women I used to work with. And when I worked for the law firm, and there were 5 of them. Well, one of them's the daughter of one of the women I worked with, but there are 4 women that I worked with, and we became really good buddies. We get together about once a quarter. So I go in there, and I'm sitting there, and we're talking, and I noticed everybody that was I got there second, and one of the women was already there. Everybody's walking in carrying bags. And I said, what are we doing that nobody told me about? And Colleen said, didn't you notice the balloon over here? And I said, no. I said, well, I saw the balloon, but I thought it was for the people next to us. They threw me a baby shower for Garrick and Nana Sue's baby shower. So, like I said, it's been a week. So I cried there. And then I get home, and Tim had sawed down my desk for the machine to go on. And so Sunday I spent setting the machine up, putting everything where I wanted it. And and then Monday I started reading the manual. So I haven't had time to do any real sewing or quilting or whatever, but I'm sure next week I'll have some things to show you. At the end of this video, I'll have pictures of my new play toy, my new machine, and I hope you all have a wonderful crafty week and wear red. It's the last day. Bye-bye.